Now, I think it's pretty safe to say, and I do believe that a lot of you out there will agree with me, that by far, Bob Iger is right up there as the worst Disney CEO of all time, if not the worst CEO in general, just based on how he constantly lies to the general public, how he always makes one bad decision after the other, especially with all of the movies becoming box office flops and failures throughout 2023, and expected for more throughout 2024 and beyond. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. I'm also on Twitter at Mike01. I thank you all so very much for the great and kind support. And let's get right into the subject, shall we? Now, we know right now that Bob Iger and the board are really in a constant shakeup. They're really trying to figure out how in the world to handle the Snow White backlash, everything happening with the Marvels, to Galactic Star Cruiser Hotel shutting down, and what's going to replace that, since they're going to be bulldozing that in the next couple of months. So there's a lot of things coming out of both Disney and, let's not forget about Lucasfilm, which is going through a lot of budgeting limitations right now that's wreaking havoc on future Star Wars material, whether it be TV shows or movies, whatever have you. However, this is where things get even all the more intense, as Bob Iger recently acknowledged the Disney boycott, where a lot of fans are just rejecting everything Disney, the parks, the merchandise, the movies, the TV shows, even stocks. You know, there's a lot of things going on right now with people waking up and beginning to realize exactly what Disney is really made of, their true colors, so to speak. Now, that brings us to the main subject here, with the Disney board and Bob Iger endlessly attempting to insert more DEI agendas into upcoming Disney live-action remakes. Bob Iger recently touched on the subject of the Disney backlash. He delivered the following to the general public. We here at Disney are always aiming to shoot for the stars with our upcoming live-action projects. The one obstacle that we have noticed is that there are a growing number of our customers that have been rejecting our brand and our business models over time, and have played a role in our downshift with our Disney Plus subscriber loss of 12 million that we actually lost throughout the 2023 year. We have come to the conclusion that those who are rejecting or boycotting our brand are nothing more than individuals that reject our goals to improve and promote diversity and equality of women in our films and shows for Disney Plus and more. This is an unfortunate turn of events that we have been facing throughout this year, and per our cost containment plan, we will continue to pursue our said goals regardless, to make this widely available to our customers that support these ideas, that are more welcoming to our evolution in the brand. I have absolutely no concern at all in how this has played a role in our loss of 12 million subscribers from Disney Plus, and we found that there was no connection there with these types of customers rejecting our vision for the brand. Alright guys, let me stop right here for one moment, alright? Now, obviously there is a connection there. Why else would people be ditching Disney Plus of 12 million? Now, look, at the end of the day, yes, a lot of it has to do with the content that has been provided. I mean, especially with Star Wars. I mean, look at what happened with Kenobi, Boba Fett, Mando Season 3, as I like to call them, the three big fails. Those are the three major projects that a lot of people are let down over. And sure, I've brought this up multiple times, all of those projects actually had their moments. It had good little sprinkles in each of those shows, but they really weren't all impressive at all in its entirety. You know, when you look at Boba Fett, in no way from start to finish in my mind is it a good show. When you look at Kenobi, in no way in my mind is it a great show from start to finish. The same goes for Mando Season 3. That's just my opinion, by the way, guys. Just realize that. I'm just stating what I actually feel. But what's interesting here about Bob Iger is that he is really doubling down on his belief through all of the analysts over at Disney, really going all in on this, finding no connection to people rejecting the whole DEI nonsense, and that being the cause of people ditching Disney Plus and not seeing the upcoming films such as Indiana Jones 5, The Marvels, Snow White, etc., etc. That's the ongoing issue here, is the fact that This is once again a prime example of Bob Iger lying. That's obviously the reason why people are ditching everything Disney. Everything ranging from what's been going on at the parks, of what they're allowing to actually be presented over there, and we've talked about that a couple days ago. It's actually quite crazy, the fact that Disney is even able to do that with a younger audience that mainly goes to those parks. But when you look at stuff like the movies and the TV shows, that's definitely a mixture. It's a mixture of the DEI nonsense being thrown in and the types of stories that they are chasing, you know, where it just does not resonate with the fans that support these massive franchises like Marvel and or Star Wars. That's just a given fact. Now, moving on, he goes on to elaborate. We are very hopeful and confident that 2024 will be our best year, starting off with Snow White, which is still slated for March, and we have quite a number of other Disney projects, both for theatrical releases and for our streaming business model with Disney+. We don't believe that the boycott or the number of these customers and supporters of ours rejecting our plans ahead of us are a majority. This is something that we investigated and concluded is no concern to us or our work ethic for the future. We expect most of those fans to turn around and become more welcoming after tuning into Ahsoka and Acolyte, our two big upcoming releases for Star Wars on Disney Plus for this and next year. Let me say one thing about Acolyte. Nobody's gonna really support that show. We've talked about that and the reason why. To really make it short and condensed, Leslie Headland is the showrunner, and she literally said that if you believe that George Lucas is the key to Star Wars, then you're a misogynist. That's what she said. That's the type of person that is employed over at Lucasfilm handling the Acolyte. That's more than enough than you really need to know about where they're going with that show and what it's really going to be all about, alright? So moving onwards, we know that Bob Iger is just trying to say what he has to say to keep Disney afloat, to keep it surviving throughout 2023, which I believe, and I think all of you can agree, is one of the worst years ever for their movie release slate. You know, Elemental, Little Mermaid, Indy 5, the Marvels Up and Coming, and more have really been failing one after the other, either on a fan reception level or on a box office level. It doesn't matter. Even Haunted Mansion, terrible reviews by the critics, by the way. A lot of customers, as Bob Iger calls them, didn't really enjoy them. Some people saw Haunted Mansion and said, you know, it was a good movie, but I've noticed the majority do not like that movie at all. Found it very boring, very much bland, to put it simply there. But moving to the more important fact here is the actual given material that Bob Iger is throwing out there, throwing in the DEI nonsense that he's doubling down on, as well as the Disney board. You know, they talked about this not long ago about how all the live action remakes on the horizon are going to actually double down on the DEI nonsense. So anyway, I would like to hear what your take is on all of this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys next time.
Gun in hand, we are alone again. From night to moon, we hear their moans again.